welcome to Call The Midwife. We are a podcast where we talk about Call The Midwife. Today, we are doing a listener special where we talk about everything you sent us, plus some other stuff. I'm Alex.
I'm Becky.
I'm Jen.
And we don't have any warnings today, do we?
No trigger warnings, because hopefully, we're not going to be confronted with a lot of terrible topics that we'll have to navigate with some sense of sensitivity and humor.
Well, we probably will. We do have stuff. We do have some confronting questions from our listeners.
Well, we can always add a trigger warning after, I think, right?
Yeah, we won't have a trigger warning, hopefully, apart from hilarious things.
Yeah. we'll try to, yeah. Like, the only thing you have to be concerned about is if you laugh too hard and you hurt yourself.
Or if anything's too awesome for you. Okay, first off, we're going to start with the whole AI thing, because I've been going on about this AI thing for ages, and then we've not done it. Yeah. I got like 6 episodes. So I'm just going to start with that, and then it's done. Okay.
Do you want to tell the listeners what we're kind of talking about in the first place?
Well, are you gonna let them listen to it? Brace yourself, listeners.
Well, what I'll do is I'll explain first, and then they'll put them on, and then we can talk about which one we prefer, and they can send us which one they prefer. So if you don't understand what we're talking about, I shall explain. So my husband called me into the office one night and was like, listen to this. And he played me possibly the weirdest song I've ever heard in my life.
It's weird. It's weird. It's a weird song.
It's weird, but good. I really love it. So
now, are we proposing that this is going to be a new theme song for us? Is that what we're doing?
No. Long, but I thought maybe
we could play out on it and fade it out.
Yeah, or just use parts of it. So basically, what he did was he found this website, and he's all into this AI stuff. He finds it hilarious. Like, he's not saying it's good, but he found this website and he put in our names, what our podcast was about, a few little things in there, saying what kind of style of music he wanted, and they just regurgitated these 2 very strange songs with lyrics.
What style of music did he request?
I had the exact same question.
I think he put music for middle-aged women. Now, I realise I'm not the normal taste of a middle-aged woman normally, but I'm not going to lie, one of these bangs for me. I really, really like the second one.
Yeah, the second one is very good, yeah.
So we're going to play them really quick now. So
for a second then, I thought you were going to claim not to be a middle-aged woman. I'd be like, hang on a minute.
It's music for middle-aged women. Not that that's what I am, but...
It's like a reveal, I'm actually 20. I met you when I was minus however old. How many years ago did we meet, by the way? 24? 25?
25.
Oh my God, it's our 25th anniversary.
Wow, this October is going to be 25 years since we've met each other.
Oh my God, we need to celebrate that.
We do. Oh, do you know what? We're going to have to do like an online Zoom with everyone. We can't miss any Americans out.
I know. We should really try to organize a big thing for it.
Because the thing is, we could all go back to uni and stuff, but then you won't be there. So we need to actually do an online party.
We have to get. Let's take this offline.
Yeah, we got. You know what we do? We need to get into the group chat and let everybody else know, though, because I'm not sure if everybody will have realized that, because we didn't until just now when we were talking about it.
Yeah.
We'll also double check.
It's also 25 years since we've done our A levels.
Ooh. Oh my God. And girls, I mean, we'll have a bigger conversation offline, but we also have to decide like when I can come over so that we can do the Call The Midwife tour.
Yeah, defo.
We'll check in with that, and listeners will get back to you. But
on that, actually, everyone who's listening, listen to the adverts, because we do get, it's not a lot, but we do get money when you listen to the adverts. So,
and I'm trying to come over so we can. And I'm trying to come over so we can all be together and and then take the Call The Midwife tour, like maybe even meet up with a few of you if you want, like,
that'd be amazing.
just record all together. And
Jen can go shopping in Boots.
Oh my God.
I put a picture of myself. Do you remember when we met Dr. Turner? And I had a video of me on it, and I look awful. I'm so hot and red.
It was so hot.
Needs cutting. Like, it was just awful. And everyone was just like, "Oh, you look nothing like I thought you'd look." And I thought I'd do that. They were like, "Yeah."
Is that good or not?
I think it's bad, if I'm honest, Beth. I think they're a bit like, I thought you'd be a lot better looking in real life. But actually,
I thought you'd be so much more beautiful than you actually are.
Actually, just a red tomato-faced weirdo.
No, that day it was so hot. We just sat in that hall for an hour.
You know what I think about that day though, Bex? I always think that was the Saturday or the Sunday before I did my leg on the Monday.
Oh yeah.
And here I am a year later.
Yeah.
Nearly. Okay, so
wow, it's been quite a year. Anyways, okay, go ahead.
It very much has. So I'm going to play these songs right now. So we're going to have song 1 and song 2, and I want some feedback online about what your favourites are. We've kind of just said to us ourselves, but so listen to these now.
Turn on the screens, it's time to shine. Alex and Jenn, yeah, Bex and live, watching tales from days of old, midwife stories breaking bold. Call the midwife every show. We talk it out, we let it flow. Catch every scene, every twist and turn. From nuns and nurses, lessons learned. Recall the midwife, let's dive deep. Every scene a secret we keep. Join us now, let's chat and play. Alex, Jenn, and Bex will stay. From cobble streets to joy and tears, through every laugh to face our fear, breaking down each storyline. With every episode we'll dive. Tune in weekly, don't you miss moments filled with pure bliss. Voices blending, sharing hearts. Join us now, let's take part. Recall the midwife, let's dive deep. Every scene a secret we keep. Join us now, let's chat and play. Alex, Jenn, and Bex will stay. Food in the weekly, don't you miss moments filled with your bliss. Voices blending, sharing hearts. Join us now, let's take part. Recall the midwife, let's dive deep. Every scene a secret we keep. Join us now, let's chat and play. Alex, Jenn, and Bex will stay. Turn on the screens, it's time to shine. Alex and Jenn, yeah, Bex align, watching tales from days of old, midwife stories breaking bold. Call the midwife every show. We talk it out, we let it flow. Catch every scene, every twist and turn. From nuns and nurses, lessons learned. Recall the midwife, let's dive deep. Every scene a secret we keep. Join us now, let's chat and play. Alex, Jenn, and Bex will stay. From poplar streets to joy and tears, through every laugh to face our fears, breaking down each storyline. With every episode we'll dine. Tune in weekly, don't you miss moments filled with pure bliss. Voices blending, sharing hearts. Join us now, let's take part. Recall the midwife, let's dive deep. Every scene a secret we keep. Join us now, let's chat and play. Alex, Jenn, and Bex will stay. Call the midwife every show. We talk it out, we let it flow. Catch every scene, every twist and turn. From nuns and nurses, lessons learned. Recall the midwife, let's dive deep. Every scene a secret we keep. Join us now, let's chat and play. Alex, Jenn, and Bex will stay.
Okay, so my favourite's definitely number 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
although I will say, I think the lyrics on number 1 are a little bit stronger, but the
aren't the lyrics the same?
Yes, they are, Jen.
Oh, they're the same?
And it took me ages to realise this, but I'm so glad you still didn't realise it.
Oh, I didn't realize it.
Weirdness that the AI brings. Turn on the screens, it's time to shine. Alex and Jenn, Bex in line.
I know. This is my criticism of it, is it's Alex, Jenn, and Bex.
Well, it's actually Alex and Jenn, Bex in line.
So maybe it doesn't even think I'm a person.
Well, or you're just lining up to speak to us.
Also, like, you can tell, like, because a computer wrote it, it doesn't have, like, there are definitely songs where the lyrics are kind of like, well, that's not really how you would say that, but it makes sense in the song. Who says,
like, watching Tales from Days of Old nice, midwife stories breaking bold? What?
Exactly.
Also, every scene a secret we keep. No one's keeping a secret.
In fact, that's kind of the point, is that everything's coming out of you people. Like, you know.
But also, let us now. Let's chat and play. What?
Yeah, it's a bit strange. It's like, and then at some point, they don't do, the songs don't do this, but they have a quality of, like, you know, like wombs, cups of tea, and, you know, sweaters knitted, like, you know, laying down in London's dockland. You know, it's like they're just kind of saying things, and it's like, well, that really doesn't mean anything. Like,
I just like it. From poplar streets to joy and tears, through every laugh to face our fears, breaking down each storyline. With every episode, we'll dine. What?
That's what I mean. It's just like they're just saying things, you know?
I do like the line where it says about nurses and nuns and lessons learned.
Yeah, call them a midwife every show. We talk it out, we let it flow. Catch every scene, every twist and turn, from nuns and nurses, lessons learned. I do quite like that one. That's the one bit I like.
I have to say, you guys have done such a thoughtful and in-depth analysis of these lyrics, and I did not do that at all. I just listened to the songs and I was like, oh.
Although, Jenn, tune in weekly, don't you miss moments filled with pure bliss. Ooh, voices blending, sharing hearts. Join us now. Let's take part. Awful.
The first version, I just thought it was too serious. It was too.
It is serious.
Yeah,
yes,
I preferred the upbeatness. The second one, they sounded more computer generated. The voice sounded more AI,
but more like pop song. You know what I thought of, girls, and
it was too long for an intro as well. Carry on, sorry.
They were too long, but I'm sure the American listeners will know what this means, but I hope you guys will, everyone will know what this means. But it really reminded me of, like, music you'd hear on a Hallmark Channel show. You know? It was very like, you know, like thistles and cobblestones, you know what I mean? And it's like, you know, Miss, you know, Constance, you know, Prudence is a local, you know, florist, and she also solves crime. And, you know, there's a very cute barber that works across the street from her that's age appropriate, and he has one daughter, but he's a widow, and he really has a crush on her. And then there's like a pesky police chief that she's always in her, you know what I mean? And it's like,
it is so, girls, I like the way we're trying to say that we're above the Hallmark Channel. We don't even have a channel. We're not official. We're not a cut above, although we are. It
had a very, like, comforting, this isn't going to hurt your brain, you know, type of melody to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I liked. I liked it.
Yeah. But I just think it's really fun. It just made me absolutely lol. And also that it was either my husband or Call the Midwife. I'm going to Call the Midwife or AI. And I think it was AI that knew it was popular. I don't think my husband
Here's what I would like you to do. Actually, Alan, you're in the vein of, like, that listener saying, like, oh, you're not what I thought of at all. I would love for you to put in, like, draw me, like, however AI works, I don't really understand it, but it's like, draw me a picture of, like, the three of us, and then, like, give some descriptors, and then see what AI generates, and then put that up on social media and be like, yep, that's what we look like.
Or we ask the listeners to send us what they think we do look like.
Oh, that would be funny. Because we've given, if people have been, like, really listening, like, we have given some hints, like, in the shows.
Fringe,
of, like,
I'm tall.
Yeah, I've given some. I'm not going to say it now because it makes it too easy. But, like, I've definitely dropped some hints about what I look like in the show. Not in a big detailed way.
No, I'm a mystery.
Yeah, you would be the most enigmatic of us all, Bex. It's true.
I think because my voice is high, people would expect me to be short and small and petite. That ain't me.
Here's a hint, listeners. We do share some physical similarities.
But we've all got eyes and mouth and a nose.
Oh, yeah, I knew you were going to go there. It'd be like, we all have legs and 2 arms and a body and feet on our feet and skin on our skin. Is that what you're talking about?
And vaginas. Although actually, I don't know if that's true. I've not seen yours.
Oh god.
Right, should we actually start doing some this
yes.
listener stuff?
Yeah.
Right.
Let's start.
Okay, so this is from Anne. Okay.
Is it your mum?
It's not my mum, because if it was my mum, she'd number 1 listen, and number 2, I would not be reading that out. Okay. Hi girls, my name is Anne and I live in Melbourne, Australia. I'm 50 and I have 2 sons in early 20s and my husband is a typical husband. I don't think they've evolved as much as we women have. Amen, Anne.
I mean, you said it, Anne. I'm not going to say it, but you said it.
Alex, wow, you are my soulmate. Apart from my love of Jason Donovan and Dr. Carl, I thought I was the only one who praised they have COVID over Christmas. Also, 2 ankle operations later and possibly a 3rd on the way. I asked doctors, no walking for a few days. And the doctor's like, no, you can keep doing light walking. I just want a few mental load-free days. Amen. And this literally is my soulmate. I loved lockdown. And that's when I became addicted to Call the Midwife. Why did the kids always walk in during the birthing scenes? Always, without fail. Never during the normal scenes. So true. It's like when I start mopping the floors, I don't see them for hours. As soon as I start mopping, they appear like magic looking for food. If I want them in the living area, all they have to do is start mopping. Love Dr. Turner as much... It's so true though.
Well, I was gonna say your child is 7, but Anne, my dear, your kids are in their 20s. Like they're still doing it. Oh my gosh.
Love Dr. Turner as much as my family. Also, my favourites are Val, Phyllis, and Sheila, and of course Fred and Sister Julianne. Love your podcast. I've heard your episodes at least 3 times each. Oh,
Anne.
I know. You're with me while I clean, cook, and of course on my walks and my long drives when I'm on my own in the car. My dream is to visit the Outer Hebrides, to disappear for a few weeks and finish it off with a Call the Midwife tour. Oh, that does sound lovely.
Oh, Anne, you should do that.
Really should.
Yeah.
Leave them to the bloody
make your
mopping.
husband and children fend for themselves and go to the Outer Hebrides. Yes.
Yeah. Have you guys watched the Call the Midwife case book? It's a great watch with Stephen McGann going behind the scenes and a visit to the house where he was born. I know.
You guys. Okay, wait. Anne, you have hit the nail on the head here, because my mom, I came home from work, I don't know, a few weeks ago, and she was like, she's like, because we were sitting down to watch something, she's like, I have something I think you should watch, and I think you should talk about it on the show, and I think the girls should watch it, and I think it would be a really good thing for the show. And she meant the podcast when she said that. And it was the Case Files thing, because it was a YouTube, and she'd found it was from years ago, because it was like early seasons that he was kind of referencing or whatever. But he basically he did this whole like deep dive thing on it, and he met with a lady who knew Jennifer in real life.
So, hang on, let's just finish this bit, because this is the same thing. So she says, it's a great watch with Steve McGann going behind the scenes and a visit to the house where he was born by a midwife on a bike in the middle of a snowstorm, just like on the show. It covers quite a lot of content, even the music behind the scene. And get this, he interviews a former midwife who worked with Jennifer Worth.
Yes.
So that's why you carry on. Sorry, I was just that's the bit she was saying as well.
No, Anne, you're so right on. And that's the thing. So he talks to her, and she has journals that she kept from her time in Nonata's house. And she said she overlapped with Jennifer Worth for maybe like 6 or 9 months, because they have like training courses and stuff like that. And then after a certain amount of time, they like will cycle in and out, which it sounded like it's a little different than the show, where people are kind of there for like long periods, you know. But he was like looking through them, and he was talking to her about the fact that, you know, and this is something we almost never see on the show, is like all the note-taking that they do. And they would take these big notebooks out into the field, or they'd record it when they got back home, I don't know. But it was like all these details and statistics, and not statistics, what's the word I'm looking for? The thing where you like...
observations.
Yeah. And like patient's temperature was blah, and like baby weighed blah. And then they will like have notes at the bottom, be like, you know, healthy delivery, like elbow came out, or, well, that's not technical, but you know what I'm saying? Like all that kind of stuff like that. And he was like, this is fat. You know, he was doing the whole Dr. Turner thing. It was like very, very cute. And she talked about, you know, all the stuff that they did and the life that they had, and it was really, really good.
We'll have to do that. We'll have to do that, Anne.
Well, maybe we should do that for our next episode.
We
need to find. Yeah, we can. We'll find it.
It's like an hour.
We're going to do a few weeks break.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can do that. Anyway, so she says, enough diversion. Please keep doing what you're doing. I never thought I'd know anyone who loves the series as much as I do. It's my comfort show in a crazy, crazy world. She says also, P.S. one video podcast would be awesome. It wouldn't.
Oh
It
my
just
God.
literally, we've just been saying about what the way we look. We'll just like look like absolute hell.
Jen is just we're recording at a different time of day, and Jen's just woken up. No offense, Jen.
Yeah, no, I none taken. This is exactly what I look like. You know what? It's so funny. I was leaving for work yesterday, and I looked in the mirror right before I left. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I actually look nice. I'm like, if only well, I don't want them to see this, but I'm like, if my coworkers could see me when I'm like at home and looking like this, it would be a totally different work experience for them.
I'm with them though. I quite like lockdown. There were parts of it that I didn't like, but I wasn't upset with it.
What am I trying to say?
But you're more extroverted, Alex. The introvert in me just loved not having to go anywhere.
Well, see, here's the thing. In my household, I still had to go places. So like I liked it so I would have to be out there doing stuff with like all of the remediation. Yeah.
Mine was I had to work with a 2-year-old and try and keep her occupied, and we were both trying to work, and it was awful.
Yeah. In some ways it was nice because it was like, oh, like the first 2 weeks it was like, well, we're on just like a national vacation and da 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 da. And then and granted, like that's even a privileged opinion because I know there were a lot of people that literally never got a break because they were essential workers 100% of the time. But like after that, like after kind of the initial part of it, and then obviously like our country had a lot of issues with like the response and how we dealt with it and whatever like that, then it started to just get it anyways.
I think I have got rose tinted glasses because I'm thinking of our first lockdown because it was really nice weather. I was just in the garden.
Oh yeah. See, over here there was just a lot. There was just so much.
You know what? It just reminds me of. So I live on like a crescent, but it's quite a big one. It's like, I don't know, 100 houses plus, but it's quite like, obviously we're only allowed to go out for one walk a day, and we had a 2-year-old. She was so slow at walking that we'd just go around this one bit, and it took like half an hour plus to walk around, and she'd stop at the same bush every day and be
when I look back, I was so strict about I'm only allowed to go out once a day. I was like, I don't want any of my neighbours to report me.
Same.
And then when you hear that like all of the rule breaking in government, I'm just like,
they're having flaming parties, and we're just like they're doing not seeing our families and not doing stuff.
Yeah,
I know.
I was so naive.
Well, here's my government. We were
right. No, Becky, we were right. They're the ones in the wrong. We were the ones following these rules to try and help public health, and they were the absolute disgusting people who've now just been voted out.
And I did see a thing where when the recommendations were that they go into lockdown, they were like, people are never going to do this. We're never going to be. And then everybody absolutely did it, and they were really shocked.
Yeah, because people care.
Yeah, because people aren't scum like them. Anyway, sorry.
I mean, my government, it was like, now granted, depending on, I guess, what side of the aisle you were on, but, you know, we would have things happen and be like, oh, this is just a televised super spreader event. You know what I mean? Like, literally all of these people are in the same room and they're all going to get COVID. And it's like, and it's on television and they're just like, they're proudly broadcasting it. It's like, oh my God, like, what am I sitting at home for?
The thing is that we've lived through one of the weirdest times. And then in like 40 years, my daughter's going to be watching a show like Call The Midwife. She's going to be watching, you know, that thing about podcasts. I know she's going to be watching a show like Call The Midwife where they talk about this, show the history of it, and then she's going to be like, "What did that actually happen?" And be like, "Yes, we've lived in the weirdest time." Like we look back on the war now is what they're going to look back on COVID like what? That's mad.
But she's gonna come to you like we would go to our parents or grandparents or whatever and be like why didn't you guys ever like tell me about this or whatever, like can you believe this happened? And then we're gonna be like, yeah, I know, but like, oh, like it was just a really tough time and like we did all of this, and then it'd be like, can you remember when we did blah? And she's like, wait, this is so crazy. And then it's like, why don't you ever talk about it? And it's like, well, part of it is I don't really want to talk about it, you know what I mean? Like it was not nice. It was really hard, really painful, really long, really scary, you know what I mean? Like, because it's like you think about like World War II, like people are like, well, how come I never knew that you did, you know, that you fought overseas and that you saved all these lives and that you did that or whatever. It's like, well, that was actually a deeply traumatic time in my life. Like I really don't want to just have like dinner conversation about it. It was just like on Sunday night, you know.
The thing is, it's weird because she does remember some bits of it.
Yeah.
So it is very strange. And it wasn't like traumatic for us, like in our family and stuff, but it was just not really
I was going to say, like, I'm not going to be like, oh, I don't want to talk about that time when I didn't wear a bra for 4 months.
I'd love that, not to have to wear a bra.
Yeah.
Anyway,
right,
if you're thinking about what we look like, right? Okay, here's one from Julie. Lovely email. Julie does comments and stuff on stuff as well.
Oh, so Julie's one of our biggest ones.
Was it Julie Coates?
No, different one.
Oh, never mind then.
No,
sorry, Julie.
Still as important. Hi guys, I found your podcast a few months ago and have been listening from the beginning and have finally caught up with you. I've just listened to the episode with Miss Mulgrove. Bear in mind, I've had a few of these for weeks and found it to be very informative. I live in Australia and we were the second country in the world after New Zealand to give women the vote. It is compulsory for everyone over 18 to vote and you get fined if you do not vote in all state, federal and local elections. We use cardboard partition booths and cardboard ballot boxes to put our 2 voting papers in. Love listening to you as always, and I walk to and from work each day and I always smile when there's a difference of opinion between you. Well, it's quite a lot of them.
I know, you must be smiling every single day. Yeah.
I did hear that they have the compulsory vote because I've listened to podcasts where people have kind of said we should have something similar because we've just had the election and it was like the lowest turnout.
Yeah, I will say this. I have mixed feelings about mandatory voting. Overall, I do think it's a good idea, but then sometimes I'm like, there's a lot of people that I don't know if I really want to include their vote. And if they're not going to vote themselves, then I'm not going to try to make them. So...
No, I find weird that Donald Trump could be like a convicted felon, but like prisoners can't vote, but like an actual criminal can be.
Yeah, isn't that a strange quagmire our country's just gotten themselves into? Yeah, it's something I think about a lot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Anyways,
so we've got now. I've probably said this before, but I really want to say it again. Donna Martin Simpson on Facebook has said, "I want a series about Sister Monica Joan, Evangelina, and Sister Julienne during the Blitz." Or even go back to the beginning of the sisters in Poplar. So much they could cover and just be wonderful. Seeing the photos in the birthday montage makes me think that every time. Now, how amazing is that idea, right? And it made me think.
It's a brilliant idea, truly.
What else would you want to see? I'd want to see Trixie's childhood. I'd want to see Sister Mary Cynthia's childhood. I'd want to see all these from where they come from, like what the kind of background is. Right, this is a weird tangent, but I'm going on it. In Harry Potter, right?
When you said what would you want to see, I would want to see the prequel to Harry Potter, but you carry on.
Well, in Harry Potter, I'm talking about in Call the Midwife though, because we're talking about Call the Midwife. But Harry
Potter already did a prequel. Wasn't that the whole Curious Beasts and things with
Yeah, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. But that's like not about these main characters. But my
not
point
the main
is,
characters.
Harry Potter.
You're now talking about Harry Potter.
Yeah, but I'm telling you why. There's a reason. There's a bit in Harry Potter when Hermione goes home to her house to basically erase
it's a lovely
memory.
House.
Isn't it?
Yes.
And I really loved seeing her background in the context of her, because not seeing her in Hogwarts, actually seeing her where she's actually from, her house. And that's what I would love in Call the Midwife for Trixie and Chummy, finding out where she was from and her massive grandhouse. I just love that kind of thing. So yes, it was actually on point. Thank you, Becky.
Where the house that Hermione lived in is I'd love to live in that street.
Well, yeah, but
I bet
it is maybe
area.
I bet it is as well. But I bet you maybe someone lived there, or Fred and his wife. What his wife was like before, that kind of thing.
Well, if you had a prequel, you'd have Fred's first wife, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And also young Fred, which
not Val, Violet's.
Well, also Val's grandma, where it all started.
Giving backroom abortions on the side. Yeah. So here's a thing. So there's a show in the US, and I mean maybe international people have watched it as well, but it's called Yellowstone. And the premise of the show is that it's a modern day patriarch of a generations long ranching family in Wyoming or Montana, and he has adult children who are battling. It's like Succession, but Wild West Succession. Okay, so it's they're trying to battle out who's going to be the one to take over, how's it going to all work. It's a very drama show, but it's set in kind of cattle ranch energy or whatever. And by the way, there's a very, very hot younger brother on that show, and just don't even get me started on him. But anywho's, the thing about the show that's kind of fun is that they have done already 2 spin-offs, and one is called 1923 and the other one is called, I want to say, 1887, but it's all in the Yellowstone lore, the family lore. And the 1923 one goes back, I don't know, let's say 3 or 4 generations. And then not 4 generations, probably 3 generations. And then the 1887 one is the first generation that were the ones that went and pioneer style out to the area and settled on that land originally, and then built up the whole thing from there. And in that vein, I think it would be cool not just to do a prequel with the young original characters, but in a recent episode we just watched, Sister Julian said that Nonnatus house was built in 1860 or something, or like 18, I don't know, whatever. And it'd be really cool to see the establishment of Nonnatus house and like all of the sisters that were there, because then they were practicing midwifery really before a lot of like medical technology and like intervention was fully developed in the kind of scientific model we know now. And so I think it'd be fascinating to see what it would be like for those kind of like OG nuns and whoever was working with them at the time to like serve in that. Like basically Victorian times.
Heidi Thomas is probably listening, so hopefully she'll hear us.
I mean, even a one-season spin-off would be amazing. You know what I mean? Just give us something.
I'd like an hour on each person.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
It'd be amazing.
Yeah, I'd go for it. Absolutely. I mean, I'd watch anything Call the Midwife related. So
same. And also, I'd like if it stops, which I really don't want it to. But you know, I did actually think we need to write a TV show where it is like Call the Midwife, but then they also write when the long lost family meet up years later. So we do a pretend like what's that show with Davina McCall? Long Lost Families.
Long Lost Family.
So we do the actual episode of Call the Midwife, but a pretend one that we've written, and then we do a long lost family of that family like as the next episode, so it's like even more of a tearjerker. How good would that be as like a combination?
That'd be good. That'd be good.
Wait, I don't understand what it would be.
So we do something that's like an old, so pretend we're doing an episode of Call the Midwife, we'll write an episode of Call the Midwife, right? And it's got a family and they give away this child and it's awful, right? But they carry on with their lives. And then the next episode is the update.
They're reunited.
Yeah, or not reunited, depending on how it goes. But you know, everything's different. Everyone's different, Bex.
Yeah,
I think that'd be dead good though, because I think it'd satiate my curiosity about what happened.
I know. Well, we talk a lot about how we wish we knew what happened to the people on the show.
Yeah. Now I've not got the name here. What's your favorite relationship on the show? It could be friendship, familial. How do I say that? Why am I saying that wrong?
Familial.
Or romantic.
Familial or romantic, yeah.
So what is your favorite?
Or just regular platonic.
Yeah. So what's your favorite? It's friendship, familial. Can't say. Why can't
well,
I
you tell us yours. You tell us yours first, because you've had longer to prepare, and then it gives us
you say first. I have
my
an idea, but you go. Yeah.
My favorite is the young girls always. So the young midwives, and I think because obviously it's us three doing this podcast, but also from our time at university stuff, I really, really strongly connect with that. And I think they're all living together, having an amazing time. And obviously I'm doing it with two people that I did that with. I think I just really, really strongly connect with it. It doesn't really matter which dynamic of friendship it is with the young girls, because there always is a lovely friendship there with them all, because it's like the same kind of experience.
So,
and it's when they're in their downtime at Nonnatus house, and when they're just hanging out, that takes me back.
Yeah.
So when you first posed that, the first thing that popped to mind, which is basically the exact same that you said, is Phyllis and Barbara. I love their friendship. I think it's so beautiful, especially because they do have a pretty significant age gap. And it just goes to show that like when you connect with someone, you connect with them. And I just think they're sweetest two ladies. And they're so different. And they've just found so much like friendship, love together, which
I love that. Well, again, that's something we can relate to now.
Well, absolutely. And then my other answer, which is basically the flip side of your answer, Al, is the relationship between the nuns, because like whenever they're having a hard time or like a happy time, but either way, they really come together and they lean on each other. And like, remember when like Sister Julianne and Sheila, like, you know, had a bit of a wonky patch like right after she'd left and she was marrying Dr. Turner, and she felt like she couldn't talk to Sister Julianne anymore because she wasn't a nun anymore. And Sister Julianne was like, no, you can always talk to me. You're my sister no matter what. Like, I love you. Like, I'm happy for you. I'm here for you. Like, you know, all of that. And then Sister Julianne delivered Sheila's baby. And like, she's
not called Sister Julianne. I've just remembered she was the adopted one. I was like, her middle name's Julianne. I thought, no, it's not. It is her middle name, but she was the adopted one.
Yeah, I mean, for as much as like I feel like I'm always kind of like the most like thirsty one or whatever, like I'm always going on about the romantic relationships, but like truly, I mean, yeah, they're great and that's like really nice part of it, but to me there is absolutely like nothing like a true loving, beautiful, rock solid relationship that you have with the women in your life.
On that though, which is your favorite romantic relationship in the show?
Well, I didn't have a go yet. But
sorry. I thought you'd agree with me.
No, I do agree with you. But if I was going to
say, you agreed with me.
No, I thought that was her saying.
I know what you mean.
I thought she was saying that's me too. Carry on.
Well, that is me too. But if I was going to say what my favorite romantic relationship would be, it would be Fred and Violet.
Oh.
I
Mine
just
would
love
be
those two.
Chummy and Peter.
Oh.
And what about Dr. Turner
No.
and Sheila?
No.
No.
Well, I'm going Bex. Which is your favourite relationship then overall?
Well, I immediately went to Fred and Violet. But then when you said the girls, I was like, oh no, it is the girls. But then, so yeah,
So you did agree.
romantic
Right.
relationship. Yeah, I do agree with you. Yes,
Yeah.
you're always right, Alex.
Yeah. No, it's just that I thought you had already said.
I do, yeah, those romantic relationships I do like. I will say I have to give an honorable mention to Barbara and Tom, especially
same.
for their wedding episode relationship, and then the last two episodes where Barbara, because those are some of the most like the wedding episode is so deeply like cute and romantic and just like true love vibes, and then at the end
No, I can't get on board with this.
But then what?
Because Tom, he's so, no.
I'm sorry, Tom is not like my number one guy or anything. Like really, he's not. But
he was Barbara's.
He was Barbara's, and like when they needed him to pull it out, he really did pull it out. Like, I'm sorry, that proposal in Africa with the blade of grass wrapped around her finger is wonderful. Like when he gives her the carousel and he says, "I would do anything for you. I will do everything for you our whole lives because you are the only woman I could ever even see ever." That is amazing. Like when he cries, sobs, like he's literally going to turn to dust without her on her hospital bed, and then he thinks he's just going to throw himself into that grave after she's gone. I am sorry. Like when Tom needs to turn up, he turns up. Like you just cannot. And like she loves him so much. Like it is just anyway.
It's no Fred and Violet. That's all I'm gonna say. I just love that Fred and Violet. I don't know. I just think I think part of me just wants to also work in a haberdashers. I don't want to be a counsellor, but I just love their life together.
Yeah, but I think it's like the more grown-up version of Tom and Barbara. They just get on so well and just, but it's just normal life, but they're so happy in it. I just think that's lovely.
I know. Like when she's like ironing his shirts and like he's making his like watery soup to serve to homeless people and stuff like that. I mean, come on.
And Violet's there getting it. Do you know what they did? Although Fred does toy with Violet a little bit, Bob. Bex. He took the sprouts and didn't tell her about the donkey. Tom wouldn't do that.
He was like mean to her about like running for office, and he's like, "Well, I don't care about politics. Politics is like meaningless. Like, you know, you want to."
No, but then he came round.
Yeah. I
mean,
well,
that's what a grown-up relationship is about. It's not all
demoralizing each other until you finally realize that you're wrong.
We can't all put up carousels in a public area and block the road.
Without a permit.
Sergeant Wolf would not have stood for that if he'd have been.
Yeah. It's a good job that was before his time, wasn't it?
I'll tell you who's not going to get a mention in this section is the Sergeant Wolf relationship.
Do you know
that? Him and Miss Higgins are made for each other.
Oh, I know. I am excited to watch.
I still can't wait to see how that pans out. But I also need to happen. I don't know. I also need to shout when you mentioned, like we've mentioned the relationship between kind of the younger midwives, then we've mentioned the relationship between the nuns. I also need to shout out the relationship between Miss Higgins and Phyllis.
Oh yeah,
because that's another one.
That's like my favorite that we can relate to as well.
Yeah. Well, and I'll say this, not that
both of our spectrums of our life, Bex.
Yeah, but there is something interesting to me about two women who have not been married or had children having a friendship that I think is also very interesting. And not to say that makes it a different, like it's not the same, like it's, you know, like not to say that that's like whatever, but I just they because they have that life experience, especially specifically in that time period, I just do think that's an interesting part of the dynamic as well. So yeah,
I just love him. I know,
absolutely
love him.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, also shout out to the relationship between Cyril and Sister Monica Joan, because I'll tell you what, it is hot.
He just wanted to mention Cyril. I can't go 40 minutes without mentioning Cyril. And that's not just in a podcast, that's every 40 minutes
of my life. Honestly, my life.
About him all the time.
Yeah, I'm just like, wait a minute.
None of us have shouted out Cyril and Lucille.
Oh, I can't. Sorry.
Oh, well, I don't want to do spoilers, but I did love them.
I did love them at the start.
Yeah,
I won't.
And Series 8, where we are right now, I still love them.
Yeah, it is. Where we are right now, I'm very happy. It's very cute. Okay, should we go to the next one? Sure.
So, a question from Jeremy. He says, I have another question. Do you think the show could have been more braver with its storylines? For example, I don't think all the nuns in real life would have been all nice. I think Cyril's marriage would have ended in divorce. And I don't think Fred would have stayed faithful.
Oh.
And I don't think Dr. Turner would be that nice.
Okay, I'm sorry. Fred
braver.
cheating on Violet is absolute blasphemy. So Jeremy, I kick yourself to the curb with that one. But
Also,
the other stuff I think is worth discussing. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, if we go back to the books, the description that Jennifer Worth gives of Fred is not
It's not the Fred in the show at all.
it's
No,
not
no.
the Fred in the show. Also, the Fred in the books has got a crush on Sister Julienne.
Yeah.
The Fred in the books has a crush on Sister Julienne.
Yeah.
Oh, I kind of missed that. But I will say
anything for it. But Fred in the show, I know he would not have cheated on Violet.
Never,
I think
never.
He's very loyal. I don't think he would have.
Put it this way, guys, if they had been a bit more brave with all this stuff, I don't think it'd be the lovely show that we love on a Sunday. I don't think it would have carried on or been as popular. Like, I just think it's not a nice Sunday night view and everyone being really harsh to each other. And
well, also, like, it's already got a lot of hard stuff going into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the storylines with the patients and that kind of like the community part, there's already a lot of like tough stuff in there, as we note every single week. And I will say this, like in the book, Jennifer Worth describes, real human beings, you know what I mean? So they do have a lot of failings. They do have a lot of like, pettiness and, just their own foibles as people, but the show softens all of that on purpose. So, I mean, I will say there are a couple of times, and I had one in series 13, I won't say about what, that I thought, oh, this is a bit too, quote, sweet in terms of like, it's all just working out so perfectly. And just like, there's no way that it could be like, just this harmonious, but yeah, it's still a show, man. It's like, let us enjoy the show.
What
I get his point, but yeah,
but what I will say, so when Conchita has the baby prematurely and then she nurses it with a pipette, I was like, that is
I think you find it's an icing rod.
Yeah. They wish they had a pipette, honestly.
Yeah, I was like, that baby would have never survived. But
Absolutely.
when you read the books, it was a true story.
Yeah.
Well, and like even just recently, like Elaine Parkington, like she's a teen mom, and she's like, I know it'll be hard, but I can do it. And I'm like, oh, Elaine, really? And then they just end the show, and she's like, okay, I'm taking my baby, and I'm going to a council flat with my typewriter, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but people do.
I'm not saying that like no. I'm not saying that there's no chance that she could be successful. Like, I mean, I'm here for that, but I just like, it just was like, oh, okay, we gave her all the resources she needs and now she's going to be fine. And then that's the way the story ends because the show is over and like, that's what we all want to go with. But like, even when I'm watching that, I'm on purpose, like suspending my disbelief because I just know that it's just not going to be that easy.
Also,
there's no way.
For those original listeners who criticized us, we know it was Elaine Pilkington.
Oh, yes, exactly. What did I say? Parkington? Anyway, yeah.
I mean,
it's not even a real person.
I think there would be more racism. And I don't think
way more.
Often in the show where there is racism, everyone kind of navigates past it and they come to understand each other and then they there's a happy ending. I just don't think there would be some of that. Some people would just be prejudiced.
Being horrible racist.
Also, we joke about it sometimes about like the 1960s husbands and like boyfriends and everything, but like whatever those men on the show are doing, imagine in real life would have been 10 times worse. Like, and all the way up to and including true, really horrible domestic violence. So, I mean,
which again is mentioned in the books. Yeah,
it's mentioned in the books, and like, I don't want to see a woman in the like. I don't want to see that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see the hardcore like quote reality of that. Like, again, I'm with you, Jeremy, 100%. But I think we all just are like, sometimes you need a break, and like sometimes you need it to be easier.
Sometimes it's really just nice having a heartwarming story.
Yeah, and just feeling like humanity is like worth fighting for, and we're all ultimately like really trying our best, and we're not just like garbage people. You know what I mean?
So I feel like one of the main reasons why this show is so successful and so good is because of the amazing writing that Heidi Thomas and her writers do in making it so heartwarming out of something so dark. So I think, you could go a bit darker with that, then a bit more gritty. At the same time, I don't want them to.
Well, and the thing is, like, to your point, Al, like, very well made, because they cover stuff on the show that I think because of the tone and because of the style of the show, ends up giving people a more sympathetic perspective on things that they might be otherwise either uninformed or not as willing to accept. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, case in point, like Trixie, you know, she is an alcoholic, and that's a feature of her personality. Like, yes, I mean, like there are real problems with her, you know, substance use, you know, but is she a good person who is really trying hard? And does she like go into recovery and then fall off the bandwagon and everyone understands her and like still, you know, like there are real consequences to her actions, but she's able to kind of come back. She's able to rehabilitate. Like, people are not perfect, you know, like they have stumbles, they have foibles, they have things that are wrong, and then, you know, they kind of keep going. And I think that writing is what allows people to kind of get that, you know, like depth. So.
And I think when we've compared, because we've obviously done episodes where we've done the books are so bleak, and I think that's probably Jeremy's version.
Yeah. Jeremy, honestly, you should read the books.
Yeah, true.
We've never recommended them, but you should read them.
Well, do you know what? It's a good job you're talking about the books, because Holistic PLC, who often writes, I've got another message from her today as well, says this is when we did the books, but I thought I've saved quite a lot for a listener special. So here we are. You ladies did a great job with this. Such a difficult read. I only stuck with it because I knew I would be able to process it with you all. I've read her sister's book as well, and it definitely sheds light on Jenny's personalities. And then she also says, so glad you all tried the peanut butter and honey sandwiches. I should have told you to put the honey on the bread before the peanut butter. That way the honey sinks into the bread and doesn't just slide all over the peanut butter. I'm going to do that next time.
Oh, top tip.
I am as well, because that was a great recommendation.
Yeah, I really like that. I nearly did it this morning, actually, but then didn't.
I only don't do it more because I have to limit the amount of peanut butter I will allow myself to consume.
My daughter has peanut butter and apple most mornings, and honestly, it takes everything in me not to just take a massive mouthful.
I know,
I know,
and I've had that, and I'm like, it's such a healthy snack, and it's not when you have half a jar of peanut butter.
Well, I know. I was funny because I was on Instagram the other day, and there was this woman who was like, is this only me? Like, this is my current, and I like this influencer, but like when people say this, it makes me cringe. When she was like, this is my hyperfixation meal, and it basically just means like, this is the meal I've been making myself like every day for God knows how long. And I'm just like, can we just calm down with like having everything be like a mental health label? But like, okay, whatever. But she was saying rice cakes with peanut butter and honey. And it really took me back because in grad school, I ate that as my breakfast for months, because I was on a weird health journey and like diet at that point. Like, there was other stuff I was trying to figure out. But then I thought, when you guys said that about that, is that like, if you had a rice cake and you put the honey down, it could go in all the little cracks and crevices and everything. And then you put the peanut butter on top. I was like, oh, that would be delicious. That was a weird tangent. Sorry. But anyways, just like, enjoy peanut butter and honey, and, you know, yes, endorse.
What is Jennifer Worth's sister's book?
Yeah, I never heard of that.
We'll have to look into that. That was something we can always add as well. So that's something else. That's another thing, isn't it? So that's 2 episodes we're doing extra.
Well, I will say one thing I did not get from Jennifer Worth's book is a lot about her personal life, and I kind of want somebody to spill the tea. So yeah, I'll read that book.
Wait, I've got it. The Midwife's Sister, Christine Lee. The story of Call the Midwife's Jennifer Worth by her sister Christine. Let's read this, because we all have interesting feelings about Jennifer Worth.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. We've got that.
I want to know what that relationship is.
Pace file to watch as well. So we've got 2 extra episodes out of this. Well done, guys.
Yeah, and I want to know what that relationship is that Jennifer Worth always like hinted at but never said anything about. So I'm just a very nosy person. So
okay, so another one from Emily. Now Emily's also messaged about something else, but I'm going to save Emily's other message for the end. Okay. So Emily, this is actually from before, but she says, I'm catching up on past episodes, so you may have covered what I'm about to comment. So sorry if you have. Now, we kind of have, but have. I recently listened to the one about series 4, episode 7, and you ladies were talking about Lark Rise to Candleford and actors who've been on both. Nobody even mentioned that the actress who plays Phyllis also plays Queenie Turrell. Also, the actor that plays Queenie's husband, Twister, was in the episode of Call the Midwife with the elderly father who owns a pub is dying and reconciled with his pregnant daughter. That's what were the names?
Oh, I love them.
Mrs. Masterton.
Just in time to meet his new grandchild. There were several other crossovers that would take too long to type here, so she's not wrong. And also, each episode, each week, there's always someone else new, isn't there?
Well, I might watch Lark Rise again, because I used to watch it when it was actually on.
I've never seen it.
I don't know what a lot of this is referencing, to be honest with you.
You two should watch it.
Yeah, we need to watch it. Jen, you've seen it, Lark Rise to Candleford, haven't you, bet? Jen?
I don't think so.
called you Ben. That could be your two names.
But we discussed it, so I can't have been the only person. Right, it was on in 2008.
Okay.
So
I've never. Well, we'll watch it. We could do a recall the Lark Rise to Candleford. We'll do that after Bridgerton and Downton Blabby. Anyway, right. So Jennifer Curran, she says, this is Jennifer who we panicked about because she's coming over, and we panicked because it wasn't when the tour was on.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now, do you remember we were talking about
You know
rhubarb?
what? I thought about her this morning. I was like, oh, I hope she got that sorted.
She said she was fine.
I randomly did.
She says, I grew up in Maine and we loved eating rhubarb dipped in sugar. No salt, though.
Oh.
I'm 55, so it might be an olden days thing. We're not much older than us, mate.
How old is she?
55. Just said it.
Oh.
I nearly did this because I made a rhubarb crumble a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, I should dip this in sugar and eat it, and then I didn't do it. But I think the rhubarb's over. Did
you not do it because you forgot, or you didn't do it because you were like, no, it doesn't sound good?
No, I just was having a highly stressful day because I'd like gone to the supermarket, then the dessert I started with, I was using peaches, and then it all went wrong, and then I had to go to the supermarket again, and it was just very stressful.
I just don't think it sounds good. I mean, I'm sure it probably is better than I know, and I'm wrong, but I don't know if I'm gonna like work to try to find out. I mean, I'll check and see if the store has rhubarb when I go next time.
Becky's actually at the end of this episode having her spam and piccalilli sandwich, aren't you, Bex?
I will do that if you two do that.
I'm not eating that. That's disgusting.
I can't get piccalilli, so I'm just like.
Well, no, it's not piccalilli. It's just pickle, Jen. So you can have any sort of pickle.
Just pickles.
Pickle part's not my issue. It's the spam part. You're like, it's just like ham. No, it ain't. I'll tell you what. We'll do this right. I'm gonna come next time I come to you. I'm gonna bring a tin of spam and some ham, and you can have a ham and piccalilli and a spam and piccalilli, and tell me there's no difference then. That's what I'm gonna do.
Absolutely.
I'm not eating that. It's disgusting.
You know what I just think is hilarious though is that like how much of a fuss did you put up about the fluffernutter? And I'm like, that's nice. You were like, oh, it's too sweet. You're like, I have to toast my no. You didn't put up the fuss over the fluffernutter. You put it up over the peanut butter and jelly.
She didn't buy the fluff.
You put it over you were like peanut butter and jelly. Like I can't abide that. And I'm like, well, that's way nicer than spam.
I don't like marshmallow.
You heard it here first, guys.
Oh my word. Now I'm gonna have to like cancel this pod because I don't know if I can deal with somebody who doesn't like marshmallows.
See, it's all right. It's just all right. I can't have the fluff because obviously I'm allergic. Anyway, right. Heather on Facebook said, started listening to this episode today and you lovely ladies were asking about Girl Scouts. Oh, just on a quick note on that, my daughter had her last ever rainbows the other day, and it was so cute. There was 3 of them leaving, and they let them each choose what they wanted to do. One wanted to go on a zip wire with a sloth toy she has, and they all went on the zip wire. Another wanted cakes, but instead they got an ice cream van, which was even better. And my daughter wanted to do friendship bracelets. And so I went along because it was like 14 of them. So I went along to try. Oh my God, it was so stressful trying to like thread these 14 like with the names on for each rainbow, like thread them really quick. Anyway, that's by the way. I'm a troop leader for my daughter's multi-level troop. US Girl Scouts start at Daisy, kindergarten and first grade, Brownie, grades 2 and 3, junior, grades 4 and 5, cadet, grades 6, 7, 8, senior, grades 9 and 10, ambassador, grades 11 and 12. Lifetime, adults and old bridge trolls like me. I lead a Brownie junior troop, but the younger girls will fly up to junior status at the end of the school year, so the entire troop will be junior level. Luckily, I lead the troop with one of my good friends because leading some of these 8 to 11-year-old girls can be a trial. Love the pod, by the way. I honestly, hats off to you, Heather. It's actually one of the most beautiful, pure things ever. But 8 to 11, I did a school disco the other night, and the tiny little kids from so it's KS1, which is like infants up to like 8, up to 7, so 5 till 7, they were all gorgeous. 8 to 11, terrifying, absolutely terrifying. There were girls reapplying the makeup in the toilet and stuff, wearing high heels. Honestly, I've never seen anything like it.
Honestly, Alex, it's like, because I remember, I mean, girls can be bitchy, let's be honest, and there's hormones, and I do remember that from what you would call it high school, we would call it secondary school. I do remember.
I call it high school.
Really?
Yeah, my school was called something at high school. We've had this.
Mine was a comprehensive. So I do remember that vibe from secondary school, but I don't remember it from primary school. But it's definitely, that's where it starts. And just my niece is 10 and the hormones. And I can't get across it with her because I'm just like, oh my God, this is just like other people dealing with me.
It very much is.
I was gonna say you can't get upset with her because she's only 10 and you're like just trying to not be too hard on her because she's like figuring it out. But I mean, either way.
No, we agree. We agree. Okay, so I've got a message here from Melissa. She says, hello from Northwest NJ. You three crack me up. I never watched Call the Midwife until recently, and I've watched series 1 to 12 twice now because I love the show so much. I do have to say to Jen, some of what you think is a deleted scene on Netflix is something you just missed.
Oh, okay.
But Netflix does have a lot of deleted scenes since PBS cuts the time down due to commercials or so I heard. So basically, Netflix shows more of it than PBS is what she's saying there.
Okay. Well,
listen,
I definitely I admit my fallibility. I definitely can miss things. Absolutely.
Yeah, also, sometimes I wish I could say, oh, that was a deleted scene for me. I can't talk about that.
Well, she also says she just sent her passport for renewal, so hopefully she can make a trip over for the tour. And if Jen needs a travel buddy, she volunteers.
Oh, there we go. That's the kind of sweet, like, listener vibes I love to hear.
Well, this also says, I've noticed the extra nuns at Compline disappeared when they film after COVID. And she's not wrong there because I've noticed it now.
Oh. Yeah. Right on. Okay.
Also, there was a period after COVID where, because obviously they have a mix of real babies and fake babies, but during the COVID time, they couldn't have real babies.
Yeah.
So it's all fake. And then I did see an interview where they were like, it's so nice to have real babies back.
Even if you do insult most of them. So Barbara Lim.
I don't insult all of them.
Just most. It says in Australia, now this is a real gear change here, sorry, so I'll just explain first. When we talked about the smear test bits, when we talked about the whole, the episode with Lois. So Barbara Lim says in Australia, we tend to refer to the smear test as pap smear. So called because it is a Papaniculu test. My GP who delivered my babies and whom I work for as a medical typist used to say cervical to do with the spine, but the smear was the way you ladies are saying it. So cervical, but cervical was to do with the spine, apparently. Okay. And someone here also wrote, Beth Markle, what this made me absolutely howl. So pap smear in the US too, the worst 2 minutes ever. So glad it's only once every 5 years for my age group. My next one is New Year's Eve this year. Happy New Year to me. That just made me laugh. Okay. Now, there's another bit where we're thinking, Jen, you were saying about a show your mum loved, and it was the show with the ghost, the vampire, and the werewolf as being human. And there was British and US versions. But Sally liked the British version better and she watched the British version on Hulu and it was free.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the British version is one my mom is into. And she's watched the whole thing, I think, at this point. So absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, now Jennifer also go on.
The British version has got Aidan Turner in it, hasn't it?
Yeah, young Poldark.
Poldark. Oh.
Also, wait, girls, quick side note. Okay, side note. Okay, so there's a girl at my office also named Jennifer. And when, my office is like a lot of women. Not going to say more, but there's a lot of women. And when Bridgerton came out, the office was a buzz. Okay, it's because we had, apparently all of us had been like latent Bridgerton watchers. So I had like 3 or 4 conversations going in the building with like different people about Bridgerton. But I really love Jennifer, but it was hard for us to like get to know each other because she and I just are both so busy and we work together, but like in different parts of our program. Well, anyways, somehow it came up about Bridgerton, and then she was like, oh girl, she's like, you got to come talk to me about Bridgerton or whatever. So I stopped by her office a couple times. Then we had lunch before like a division meeting, and she was like, she showed me like these funny TikTok videos, which like absolutely had me like howling with laughter. But then she's like, yeah, I really love those kind of shows. So then I was talking to her about Downton Abbey. So then because I've watched like every of these type of things. So then she watched Downton Abbey. She's like, girl, Downton Abbey. And I was like, oh my God. And then she's like, but I'm done with it now. Like, what am I supposed to watch? And I was like racking my brain. I'm like, well, have you ever seen Poldark? Because she had mentioned she has Prime. And I was like, okay, I know it's on Prime. And so I'm like, well, would you want to try that one? Because she said she likes British ones that are set in like olden times and everything. And I'm like, well, Poldark might be of interest, So then she messaged me the other day. She's like, girl, Poldark. She's like, I can't believe it. And she's like, I just finished season 1. I'm starting season 2. And I was like, okay. I'm like, well, just wait because it gets better. But I haven't watched Poldark in years. So I like really have to refresh my memory. But then the other day she messaged me again. She's like, girl, Poldark was wrong. And I'm like, yeah, he was, but I'm like, but for what? Like, in my mind, I'm like, and so I wrote her back and I'm like, I know, but I'm like, I gotta find out what you're talking about because we have to have lunch or something because I really don't remember the show. And I'm like, gotta refresh my memory.
She liked Call the Midwife.
She did. Well, that's the other thing. I need to recommend Call the Midwife to her too.
You know what? There's a really good podcast you can recommend to her.
Absolutely. Well, oh my God, I do, but I don't know. I would like, how would you feel about people at your work listening to you? I'm
Well,
not
do you know what's
sure.
really weird? Someone at my work has started watching Call The Midwife,
Uh-huh.
and I just feel really weird. I haven't said anything to them about
Well,
the
that's the
podcast.
thing. I just don't know if I would want like someone that I work with to like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've not shared at work that I do this.
Not, not in like
I
a
was in
bad
the office
way, but
yesterday and everyone was like, what are you doing this weekend? And I was like, well, I'm not doing anything Saturday. Whereas actually I would have been, I'm recording a podcast in the middle of the day.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
the school mums and stuff know because they're like, oh, what are you doing this weekend? It was like last weekend when we recorded 2, and I was like, oh yeah, it's like a bumper podcast recording session.
Yeah.
I
But
hope they've not
Aiden, what's his
listened
name is
when you've spoken about how you don't want any new friends and how you just really.
Well, she's been at school 3 years now, Beck. So, and I do have some very good friends at the school mums now.
Yeah.
So the worst one, I was thinking about this morning actually. I messaged her. Do you remember there was that time when we were at a party and I was like, and she had to collect a shoe? I'm sure I've spoken about this on here. One of the party games was a really quiet mum and a really quiet little boy. And he was really shy, but he was well into this party game at the thing at one of the birthday parties for the little kids. And they had to go and collect a shoe from like a man at the party. So she like screamed in one of the dads in the class's face, like, give me a shoe, and got the shoe off him. And like, this is one of the first conversations we ever had. And literally, I was like, oh, that's really good, that. But if he beats his wife to death tonight, that's got your DNA all over it. And the way she looked, and she looked at me. Now, luckily, she's one of my best friends now here. Everything's great. Like, I'm on the PTA with her. I love her. She's one of my favourites. But imagine if she didn't think I was like, okay, and thought that was one of the most nutty things. Anyway, I've messaged her this morning about that, been like, do you know when we first met? And I said, that's you. Like, thank God you didn't like oust me.
And she was like, well, I tried to forget, but you reminded me, like, so okay.
So, Alex, Jennifer, who's going on the tour?
Yeah. Oh, I don't think she is going on the tour. I think she's coming over here when it's not on.
Right, okay. But so are they disappointed or are they okay with that? Because I've honestly reflected this morning.
She's absolutely fine. She's got loads of other great things planned. She's absolutely fine with it.
Right, that's fine.
But this is actually weirdly another message from her. I've got right in front of me now. Weird. Okay, so she's talking about an episode here, and she says, this episode reminded me of the stories they've shown when a bad abortion had taken place. I wonder how many led back to Elsie. And I think, did they talk about that? I know they go through the different ones because obviously we're here to intimate that Jeannie did pay £7, so that one definitely did. But in the past and stuff, well, there's other characters who've probably had them as well, and it's never kind of intimated.
Yeah, because remember the school teacher?
Yeah, exactly. And I wonder how many women were helped by her. I see both sides of it. So some were bad and brutal, but some also helped her.
I think there was at least one. I think there was at least one other one. I can't point to who it is, but I feel like Heidi Thomas has a real like omnipotent eye over these storylines, and I feel like she would have laid the groundwork for that in a really thoughtful way.
Well, Jennifer agrees with Bex. She says she definitely could be more careful. They knew about germs and sepsis by the 60s. Great episode altogether, ladies. It's the best part of my Sunday.
Aw, love hearing that.
I know. Right, okay. Now, do you remember we spoke about Tina, who'd had the surgery? And wanted the recommendations. I actually asked her if she was doing okay. So with some of the other Recall the Midwife people on Facebook, our community, also were asking, which is really nice. So she says, thank you, I'm doing well. I got the stitches out yesterday. I'm still walking gingerly, and yes, there is pain, but I'm walking better than I have in years, which is amazing. Can't bend, twist, or lean.
Wait. Was that hip surgery or knee surgery? Back surgery. Okay.
Yeah.
Good for you. Sorry, but I support you, and I am so glad to hear that.
Well, she says, I can't bend, twist, or lean, but physical therapy should start at the 6-week mark of my 12-week recovery. Thank you so much. I felt so supported and seen by you. This community feels like a home to an extroverted introvert with hermit tendencies. Thank you.
Oh.
Well, we're thinking of you, Tina, and we hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really hope she feels better soon.
I hope she's still in the phase of like she's not at the point where she's gone stir crazy.
Yeah, but it's like enjoying some box sets, but not having to work. Yeah. That'd be good. Okay, so Bonnie also on the same episode as Jennifer was talking about says, such a heartbreaking episode. It drives home the fact that the only thing abortion bans accomplish is banning safe abortions. Desperate women will find a way. But I did love the way Trixie handled it, and she's put handled in capitals, like handled it.
And with Trixie as well in that episode, it was almost like if it's somebody else's crisis, she can totally, like, she's got her shit together.
Yeah.
Not say
yeah,
it.
absolutely.
But then obviously she's got her, like, in her own, when she's got her own issues, she's kind of like, she kind of crumbles a little bit.
Well, I'll say
like that. I think I'm probably better at dealing with other people's stuff than my own.
Other people's problems are so much easier to solve than your own, because it's their objective.
Separation.
They're not like they're objectively like, okay, this is what you have to do, blah 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 blah. Because the thing is, our own problems,
like Reggie, go to the doctors.
Yeah, exactly. Like, our own problems are easy to solve too, but the thing is, we bring our own baggage to it, and then it's like, oh no, I could never do that. I'd be too mortified. It's like, excuse me, what? Like, okay, here's an example. I'll just have some personal candor. Like, people talk to me about dating or whatever. I mean, I'm not going to get into my whole story about it, but like, there's just a lot about it that's really hard, right? When I think about like just some like advice you could give, like, oh, well, if you saw somebody that you thought was cute or whatever, like, you're both in a coffee shop, you could just like say like, hey, like, oh, what drink did you get? Like, that looked really good. Just start like a casual, like, cute conversation and just see how the other person goes. Could never. And why? Because not any good reason. Not because I couldn't do that. Not because I'm not able, or because I think I'm not like funny or pretty or any of those kind of things, but just because I bring like a million years, what feels like worth of baggage. And it's like, I could never just walk up to a man and just say, like, I absolutely could, but that it's like, it's hard when it's you. Anyway, I've over-explained this. Everybody
understands.
It's
true that I went like, online dating, and like, I still can't believe I actually did it. Like,
yeah. When I think about some of the cringe dates I've gone on, like, it's mortifying, truly. But,
well, do you know what? My friend at work, he's been honest. I can't tell you. I honestly might write a book with him of all the horrible dates he's had. If I could tell you, like,
oh my God, but this is the one you've told us about so many times, right?
Yes. So he's literally,
okay.
I can't even tell you, like, he's had people fight with the barmaid. He's had, honestly, I can't even tell. There's just been so many examples. He had a girl who was deaf turn up, which was fine, but she hadn't told him.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Is this the guy who, like, the girl after the date wanted to go grocery shopping with him?
Yes. Yeah, that's him. But he also had a girl who was deaf.
Good one. That was a really good one. Wait, is he dating anyone now?
He was deaf, and then literally was like just wanting him to. She kept getting annoyed with him because he was trying to like look at her and stuff. She was like, "No, on the phone, like do it on the phone." And he was like, "Yeah, but you haven't told. If you'd have told me this, like, I maybe would have." But he's just really dyslexic as well, so he was just like, "This is not going to work out."
Oh, has he started dating anyone now? Like, really
this is my point. He has just met a girl like 2 weeks ago. And he's just like, she's too good to be true, and he's well into it. But it seems like she's dead into him, and now they're dead happy, and it's like really amazing. Aww. And I really hope it. I really, really hope for him, because he deserves someone. He's so lovely. But honestly, he's had. When I say he's had so many bad days, I can't even tell you how many terrible dates he's had.
I know.
One girl turned up. She was so drunk, so drunk that she'd had like makeup smeared all over her face, like so drunk. He was like, "Are you okay?" And she was like, "Yeah." Downed a glass of white wine that cost him £7 and then walked out. Like, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. But all I'm saying is, it was worth it in the end, because now he's met this lovely girl.
Wait, how old is he now?
33.
33. Oh my God. I haven't watched it in a minute because I just forgot, but like, there was this TikTok that I would watch where it's called Second Date Update, and basically it's this girl
love it.
Yeah, it's amazing. So the premise of the TikTok is that she's listening to this radio show, and then she'll kind of like, make like side comments or whatever, but basically the radio show, it's like two DJs, and they have somebody call in who went on a date, a first date with somebody, and then they're like, yeah, like, I thought the first date went really well, I really, really like them, but they never called me again. And so I'm just not like, I can't figure out what went wrong. And the ones where it's like, some of them are just so funny because it's like a guy, and then they call the girl and they're like, okay, do you want to be on the radio show and everything? And then it's like, do you remember like Jeff or whatever? And she's like, yeah, I do. And it's like, well, he said the date went really great. And she's like, oh, he did he? Like, he showed up 40 minutes late, he didn't know my name, he made me pay for like my meal, like, and then he didn't have any cash for like my cab home, so like I had to walk 40 miles in heels to like get back to my apartment. You know what I mean?
Hang on, she expected to be, hang on, is that a thing you have to pay for people's transport home?
Huh?
You have to pay for people's transport home?
No. It's just an example. It's just, I'm just like thinking of things, because like invariably there'll be these ones where the guy is just totally clueless, and he's like, well, wait a minute, no, but and it's just like, but then sometimes it's genuinely like truly a misunderstanding. Like, there was this one where this guy was like called, and he was like, I don't understand, I really like this girl, like, I can't figure out like what happened. And they're like, well, are you sure nothing happened on the date that you think maybe could be the reason? And he's like, well, I don't know. He's like, honestly, this one's just stuck out of my mind. He's like, we were like leaving the date, and and something happened in the parking lot where like she like tripped and fell and like her skirt went up, but then like it really wasn't a big deal. I didn't even see anything. And then like, we said goodbye, and like I don't know if that's it, but like it really wasn't a big deal. So like I just don't know why she wouldn't want to see me again. And then they called the girl, and she was like, oh my, and she like told her side of it, which is what she was like mortified. And she was like, after that, I was like, I just could never talk to him again because I just didn't think he would like me, and like I just was too scared or whatever. And they were like, well, he's not too scared because he's literally on the phone, like he really wants to see you again. One time, this one actually made me cry. One time the guy didn't call her back. It was a girl who called in because she wanted to see the guy again, and he didn't call her back because he's like, she's too good for me. Like she's too beautiful, she's too nice, she's too smart. Like literally everybody in the restaurant we were at was looking at us together and was like, how did this guy get on this date with this girl? And he's like, I just could not imagine that she would want to see me again. And they're like, well, literally she's on the phone, she really wants to see you like bad. And he's like, what? And then they get on the phone, and it was the cutest thing. It was I think they even got married.
I'm sorry, I'm like, he's gonna be like really annoying and like asking where she is all the time and stuff.
Well, it could be, but I'm just telling you, in that microcosm of like suspended disbelief, I was like, oh my God, this is like a rom-com, like the cutest thing I've ever heard. Where was I going with this? Anyways, yeah, just like you gotta keep trying.
Internet Dave. I don't even know how we got onto this. Anyway, right,
No.
so this is my last one.
Oh, other people's problems are easier to solve than our own.
Yes, well done. Well done for getting back to that.
There we go.
Anyway, yeah. All right, Emily. Now, we've spoken about Emily before on Instagram. She was up before, but she's basically, she got some Ritter Sports, some Milker and some Maltesers, and she's saying they're amazing, right? Which is great.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Anyway, the last thing she said, and this is yesterday at 7 p.m., right?
Mm-hmm.
She said they have taken Call the Midwife off American Netflix. Is that true,
what?
Jen? Yeah.
Hold up. I literally just... Wait, what?
She says they've taken Call the Midwife off American Netflix. And I was like, what? So I thought I'd do a double check online with you.
I'm literally looking right now.
Is that where you watch it, Jen?
Yeah.
Oh my God. This could be the end of the pod.
Oh, can't. She's going to just buy the box sets. Going to bloody make sure.
No, it's right here.
Oh.
I don't know why then. Oh, well, Emily, you just caused drama for no reason.
Wait, is Emily in America?
Oh, hang on. I think she's in Germany, but she watches American Netflix. So maybe because of that.
Yeah, Emily.
Maybe it's that, Emily. Sorry about calling you a drama maker.
Yeah, no, you're not a drama maker, but sometimes I will say this. One time I had a way that I was watching international shows, and I was like, oh, I want to watch British Netflix, and so I tried it. And the Netflix that I was trying, Netflix I think has a very, very, very strong like detection and security feature if you're trying to watch like an international Netflix from outside the country. And so I wonder if because she's in Germany, if that might be the problem. But no, Netflix, Call the Midwife is still on Netflix in America.
Oh, yeah, right. Didn't mean to panic anyone.
Well, at least for me. So whatever
now,
that says.
My final thing is this morning, Rebecca actually sent us some online content on TikTok.
Oh, it was me.
It was you. And
oh my God, that was so funny.
It was brilliant. So funny. And I've shared it all over our social media. So I'm just saying Becky's actually contributed to the social media today.
Oh my God, I love it when she said
say Becky's actually contributed to the podcast. I was like,
no, to the social media today. So but watch them, they are really, really funny.
Oh my God, oh man, it was very, very good.
If you do have any more questions you want to ask us, we can do it throughout, but also we'll do more listener specials and everything. But we'd love to hear all your emails, all your messages, all your questions. So please carry on sending them to us. It is recallthemidwife@gmail.com. You can message us on Instagram, on X, on Facebook. We're in loads of groups on Facebook as well. You can email us direct. But yeah, follow us, like and subscribe. And we are going to take a few week break. It won't be too long though. We shall see
weeks, you. Maybe 3 weeks, but
yeah. But I'm also got my surgery looming, so we're just trying to, rack some.
We've got some summer obligations, and then we just want to also get a little more caught up. So
yeah. So yeah, we'll see you soon, but we'll see you for series 9. Episode 1, so make sure you're watching that.
Oh, you guys, we're really getting down to it.
I know, it's stressing me out a bit. We're really getting through the series.
Fine, we've got Downton Blabby, Recall Lark, Rise to Candleford, whatever it is. We've got Recall Bridgerton. Don't worry, guys.
Well, and also we had as listeners know from our last special,
we 25 years. It's not the end of it.
Absolutely. But we talked about maybe peppering in some different, kind of unique Call the Midwife content. So
yeah, but we've also got this today. We've got 2 new ones as well. A new book by a sister and that Dr. Turner's Case Files. So point being, we've got more coming. Don't worry.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for listening today, and send us your questions and everything. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.